dear devotees. I am very thankful for the opportunity to speak about the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam today. The Srimad Bhagavatam is everything we need in our lives, and I gave this same presentation a year ago, and I'm very thankful that I get to go back and remember exactly how important Srimad Bhagavatam is. It is very easy for me to forget how much of a jewel is located in my bookshelf downstairs, and so by preparing for this presentation again, I had the opportunity to remember that Srimad Bhagavatam is our savior, especially in Kali Yuga. So before I start, I'd like to offer my obeisances to the Guru Parampara. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Shrimate Vaisheshikada Sadikayati Namane Nama Praharsha Shilaya Prabhupada Anusarine Anindita Hide Tasmai Shastra Vajna Choidne Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Vidamane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pachayane Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatayane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So now let's talk about Srimad Bhagavatam and its importance in our lives. So the origin of how the Srimad Bhagavatam was written speaks to its importance. Srila Vyasadeva had compassion for all of humanity, split the one Veda into 4 Vedas, and he made a 5th Veda out of the Itihasas and Puranas. So after compiling all the Vedas, Srila Vyasadeva still felt very dissatisfied. And his Gurudev, Srila Narada Muni, came and said, "You have written all this, but there is no Krishna. If you're trying to show compassion onto the living entities, there needs to be Krishna, because talking about Krishna consciousness is the highest form of compassion." So that is why Srila Narada Muni said, "Please write about Krishna." And that literature is called the Srimad Bhagavatam. So those of you who know this verse, please say with me. This verse talks about the importance of Srimad Bhagavatam and how important it is that we read and study it, because it is so glorious. Dharma prochita kaitavo praparamo nirmatsaranam satam tedyam vasavamatra vastu jivedam tapatrayo mulanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite Kim va parairishvara Sargyo nitya vadudhyate prakritihi Shushushubhistakshana. This sloka is saying, Dharma Protita Kaitavo. This Srimad Bhagavatam rejects all materially motivated religion. Atra Paramo. Herein is the highest truth. There's nothing else higher than this. Nirmatsaranam Satam. This Srimad Bhagavatam is understood by those devotees fully pure in heart. Vedyam Vastu Matra Vastu. In this Srimad Bhagavatam, the highest truth, Shivadam, is auspicious. Tapatrayo Mulanam. It uproots the 3-fold miseries. Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite. This Srimad Bhagavatam, written by the Mahamuni Srila Vyasadeva, Kim Vaparad. When this Bhagavatam is here, what other literature is needed? Ishvara Sadhyor Hidya Avarudhyate Prakriti Shushushribi Sakshanam. By listening to this Srimad Bhagavatam attentively and submissively, the Lord becomes established in our hearts without delay. So this Srimad Bhagavatam, it is necessary for us to listen to it, especially in this age of Kali, which we'll see in the sloka on the next slide. So again, if you know the sloka, please recite with me. Krishne Swadamo Bhagate Dharma Jnana Saha Kalau Nashta Drishamesha Puranarko Dunodita. The sloka is saying, this Bhagavad Purana is as brilliant as the sun, and it has arisen just after the departure of Lord Krishna to his own abode, accompanied by religion, knowledge, etc. So this earth was graced by the presence of Lord Krishna. And then on the onset of Kali Yuga, Krishna went away, and with him everything auspicious also left. So what are we to do in this fallen age of Kali? That is why Srimad Bhagavatam is here, because persons who have lost their vision due to the dense darkness of ignorance, in the age of Kali shall get light from this Purana. We are struggling in Kali Yuga, and this Bhagavatam is our flashlight. And in this darkness that is so thick, we can't even see where we're stepping next. We need the Bhagavatam to guide us. This Bhagavatam was spoken to Parikshit Maharaj, who was a king that was told he only had 7 days left to live. We don't even know if we have 7 days left to live. Padam padam yadvi padam natesham. There is danger at every step. So how urgently should we be taking up this Bhagavatam, especially in the age of Kali, when this Bhagavatam is Krishna himself, and Krishna's mercy unto us that he has come in this literary incarnation. Yes. So the Srimad Bhagavatam has philosophy and a lot of science. It thoroughly describes all of the Dashavatars, and it also talks about the formation of the embryo in the womb in the third canto. Also in the third canto, the breakup of time into very minuscule parts is described. And in the fifth canto, the whole cosmic makeup of the universe is also given. And my favorite thing about the Bhagavatam is that it teaches us very deep lessons through stories. And by reading these stories, everyone can take away something different. And by reading it again and again, we might take away something different each time. So I talked about what these stories taught me last year, and some of these lessons I might share this year may be different, because as I revisit them, it speaks to me a little differently. So in the story of Bali Maharaj and Vamana Dev, it shows that Bali Maharaj didn't get angry when Vamana Dev, who was a little dwarf, became so big. One may think, oh, the Lord deceived me, but Bali Maharaj took this as the mercy of the Lord and offered his head in surrender. So even if Lord Krishna does something that I don't really appreciate, if I offer and surrender, oh Krishna, this is your plan and I'm fully surrendered unto you, that is the highest thing I can do. In the story of Nrsimhadev and Prahlad, Prahlad Maharaj remembered Nrsimhadev at all times, and no matter what demons were coming externally, within, he was so focused on Krishna that he was not at all disturbed. So no matter what happens in my life externally, as long as I have Krishna in my heart, he will catch me when I fall. He will make sure I'm not burnt. He will make sure I'm not poisoned. And whatever demons are coming and attacking me from inside and outside, he'll rip them apart and he'll take care of me. In the story of Gajendra Moksha, Gajendra is the king of elephants. He has everything he needs, and he is in the best place to enjoy. But as he is enjoying, he is bitten by a crocodile, and he struggles. He struggles for many, many years before he puts his arms, before he starts praying for the Lord. And so I have the option of struggling and letting my pride get the best of me, or I have the option of realizing how I'm being bitten and I'm in pain, and to finally call for the Lord. Because when Gajendra calls, when I call, if I cry with urgency like Gajendra did, then the Lord would drop everything and come and help me. In the story of Sudama Vipra had nothing to give the Lord except some chip rice. And the Lord took this with so much love. And he gave Sudama so much in return. And Sudama Vipra was gifted with so much of the Lord's mercy, yet that was never his motive. His motive was always to serve unconditionally. So if I aspire for that same unconditional service mood, and I do with love whatever I can, Krishna will take care of me. And in the story of Dhruva Maharaj, when we feel insulted and we feel helpless, we can go with determination and surrender unto the Lord, because that is always the solution, surrendering unto the Lord. Next slide. Actually, one last thing I'd like to say about the other side is that all those devotees, we talk about Prahlad Maharaj being bitten by snakes casually. We talk about Gajendra fighting off an elephant for thousands of years casually. But the amount of pain these devotees are going through, and in that pain, how they are surrendering to Krishna is not a casual task. This is actually, we go through our own problems and own things, but Krishna puts his devotees to the most extremes so that we can see from them and we can learn from them that no matter how difficult it gets, surrendering on to Krishna is the most important thing. That is what Srimad Bhagavatam teaches us. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, surrender unto me. Bhagavatam shows what that surrender looks like. Like I mentioned before, Bhagavatam is the literary incarnation of Krishna. It is Krishna himself. The first and second canto are his lotus feet. The third and fourth canto are his thighs. The fifth canto is his navel. The sixth is his chest. Seventh is his seventh and eighth are his arms. Ninth is his neck. 10th is his lotus face. 11th is his forehead. And 12th is his head. So Krishna himself has appeared before us in the Srimad Bhagavatam. This is the Supreme Lord. This is the Lord we're trying to develop love for. And he himself has come to us in this Bhagavatam. And Bhagavatam is what teaches us the importance of the holy name, the importance of devotee association. Everything we have now and everything we're doing, we learn the value of by reading Srimad Bhagavatam. So I already mentioned a little about my experience last year, and the same slokas are included in the following slides. But as a year has passed, something that I really appreciate now from Bhagavatam is the prayers of the devotees. Like I mentioned, all these things these devotees are going through are no light tasks. They're going through the worst imaginable, and they're calling out for Krishna in their prayers, whether it be Bhishma Dev on a bed of arrows, or Ambarish Maharaj being Ambarish Maharaj, or Kunti Devi, or the prostitute Pingala. All of them are calling out and saying, Krishna, please help me. Please let me surrender unto you. No matter what is going on inside, no matter what is going outside, please give myself unto you. So I have really been appreciating the prayers because that is the mood that I would like to imbibe when I'm going through anything in my life. Next slide. So I'll also go over these translations a little bit and say why these specific verses spoke out to me. So the first one is about how we should not see the body and mind as objects of self-realization. So it does not really matter my skill level, what I can and cannot do, how my mind thinks, all these things, what people think about me, my status, none of this really matters because all of this is about the body and mind. And I am not the body and mind. I am the spirit soul. And all that matters is that I surrender unto Krishna and I go beyond these thoughts of the body and mind. And it makes the process a lot simpler when you can just think, Krishna, I am yours, and he takes care of the rest. In the second sloka, it says that as soon as one begins his activities for happiness, his conditions of distress begin. Happiness will come of its own accord, just as distress does. But once we start thinking, this will make me happy, that will be the cause of our suffering. Because Krishna will send whatever he needs to send, and our only duty is to engage in his service. And that is the way we will be happy. If we try a different route, we'll learn that sooner or later. Next slide, please. In this first sloka over here, it gives a lot of hope because it is saying that even if we can't renounce all sense enjoyment, knowing that it's not good for us, Krishna will still take care of us. He says that we should just remain happy and continue to worship him, and he'll take care of the rest. And then the last sloka, Krishna says that, or it is said that even if we go to Krishna with some material motive, Krishna will fulfill that material desire. And even though I'm not asking for shelter at his lotus feet, he's so merciful, he gives it anyways. And that fulfills all my desires. So the answer to everything is go to Krishna. He'll take care of the rest. And that is exactly what Srimad Bhagavatam teaches. It is also said in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Nashta prayeshva bhaddeshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati nashtaki. We should serve both the book and the devotee because by regularly attending classes on Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost destroyed, and love of Godhead is established. Love of God is established as an irrevocable fact. So by reading Bhagavatam, we are serving Bhagavatam. And we're also serving Prabhupada, who has worked so hard to write this Bhagavatam for us. He has worked day and night to translate this difficult Sanskrit and make purports. And then he came from India to America, undergoing all hardships to beg us to take Bhagavatam. That is his compassion. We are reading Bhagavatam, And we can also give out Bhagavatam, because in that way we're serving Mahaprabhu as well as Prabhupada, because Mahaprabhu gave us love of Godhead in the holy name and in Bhagavatam. And by following in his mission, we are also serving him. And even when the Bhagavatam was written, Vyasadeva did it out of compassion. So by showing that same compassion and giving Bhagavatam to everyone, we are serving all these great devotees. So please read Bhagavatam, please distribute Bhagavatam, and please consider taking a set home or sponsoring a set or giving it to friends or family. It's Bhadra Purnima, which is the best time to give Bhagavatam and to distribute Bhagavatam, because it is said that if you give Bhagavatam during this time, you go back home, back to Godhead. So we have the Bhagavatam with us. We are so lucky. And like Mother Krishna Priya was saying, if we've been given this good fortune and we don't share it, we're simply misers. So thank you all so much for listening, and I ask for your blessings that I can do a little bit of what I'm telling you all to do. Thank you so much.